Welcome to Glitch and Glow, the podcast where digital dreams meet soulful self-care. I'm Ariel.
And I'm Edna.
And we're social workers by trade, and we're your hosts on this journey through the worlds of tech, wellness, gaming, and Black womanhood.
Each week we dive into real conversations, level up our self-care, decode the latest tech, and celebrate the wins, big and small, in our communities.
Whether you're here for the healing, the hacks, or the high scores, you're in the right place. So grab your tea, your controller, or your headphones. Let's tap in.
Yay! Okay. All right, so first up, our segment as always is Boot Sequence. This is when we boot up and sink in, talking about what's on our minds today. Let's start off with our glitches. Ariel, what is your glitch this week?
So, I had a hard time figuring out what my glitch is because we're a little tired, but it's totally fine. I recognize really what's happening to me is that I have been dealing with like a little bit more stress than I've had in the past like couple months. And that's been interesting to me. Okay. But it's actually, it's okay because of that, I will go into my glow because it kind of just feeds right on in there. But because I've been feeling more stressed, like I've actually like really been intentional about stepping up my self-care. So, I have like been like really hitting Pilates hard. I'm obsessed, friends. Okay. We added jump boards. Have you heard of this jump boards for the Pilates reformer?
No, I literally looked to the corner, like up to the right. Like,
gosh, it's this like padded board that they put on the end of the reformer, and so instead of putting your feet on like the foot bar, you just like jump off of this board. So as you're doing like different exercise on it, you're just like jumping, so it adds more of like a cardio element to it. It's just super fun. It feels like you're like, I imagine what it feels like to like walk on the moon.
Oh,
because it's like you're like kind of like suspended. Like once you jump off, you get some like air time in it to like do the thing. So it'll be like you jump off and then you do like, I don't know, just stuff that they're telling us to do, but there's some air time, some like hang time, and that's what it makes me think of. But it's
not like a trampoline though.
Oh, sure, but like less gravity though, because you're not jumping up and down, you're like laying down when you do it. So it's not so much that like gravity is like forcing you down, it's just like whoosh, whoosh. Like I don't even know how else to explain it, but it's a great time for me.
I have to look it up later. My brain cannot calculate. I was totally imagining you vertically jumping on this and like jumping on the machine.
No, you're laying down. You're like laying down on the reformer and then like
Are you doing some Pictionary for me?
I am doing some Pictionary.
Are we gonna guess that we understand?
Listeners, since you know, for our folks who are listening on Spotify, so sorry that you're not going to be able to see this, but what I'm doing is I'm doing a Pictionary drawing of what a jump board looks like.
Okay. Well, also, it's because I'm like, you've been in gymnastics. You've jumped on a lot of shit before. So the fact that you're unable to explain this is like...
How do I do this? Can we see this?
Yes, this is hilarious.
Okay.
I think this is what I'm imagining, but I'm like, how are you not just flying off that thing? Like,
no, you're not flying off because you're still having like the springs, the resistance springs on it. So like you like boop and you jump off and then you do an exercise and you're like boop and then you do it again. And like the springs like pull you back because for the resistance, but you get some hang time because you're not jumping up and down. So anywho, so that's been a great time for me. So really been doing a lot of Pilates. And also I've just been able to like spend a lot of time with like friends and family on the weekends, which has been really, really nice. So yeah, because my glitch is that I've been so stressed, I've really been trying to like tap into self-care, and it's been helping. And I think this is just like been a weird couple weeks, but we'll level out and we'll be good to go. So
okay.
Yeah, girl.
I was gonna immediately be like, so what are you doing to take care of yourself?
You see, I was listen, okay. Because we can't stay like this. We can't stay in this like constant mess of stress, especially if like
Yeah.
we know it's gonna help. So
I feel
yeah.
like I'll let, and I don't know if this happens to you. This is not my glitch or glow, but I don't know if this happens to you, but I'll like life will be so great, or I'll be like in a high moment of life, where I'm like, I'm not doing any of my self-care stuff, or like I am, but it's not like when I'm stressed, regimented, waking up every day, doing all the things, journaling, meditate. I'm super healthy suddenly. Granted, this is like also not when I'm super low, but I'm like
Right.
making my way back out, or I'm
Right.
noticing now, and I'm like, let's implement. But I have to be down there, and then all of a sudden I'm like, all right, you have a lot of tools you need to start implementing again.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah. Also, I've been finally putting things on the walls. We still got a lot to put on the walls, but the things are up. The things are
Hey,
coming up, y'all. So
making a house a
that's
home.
exciting. Doing a
I
little
love that.
nesting.
I
So
love it. Finally,
yeah.
gotta unpack,
Okay.
put some stuff up. You
Yeah.
live there.
I
I
live
was also
there.
noticing again, thinking about the last few episodes, because remember at first I was like, "You're always hot," and then it turned into like something always happening in your apartment. And I was like, "Oh my goodness,
What
it
is
is
going
tough
on?
for her." The environment.
I am very very easily impacted by my environment. Like that is very much a thing.
Yeah.
So
That's real. And I wouldn't have
yeah.
said that out loud, but you're saying it, and we've noticed the pattern, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh,
So
yoy, yoy.
what's your glitch, friend? What you got going on?
It's not serious, but it feels like wah wah. These consoles are crazy with their prices. So, like a minute ago, I was talking about, am I gonna get the Switch? Am I gonna get the Rogue Xbox Ally or the Ally X? Or what am I gonna do? So many options. And now everybody's prices are just like, for what? And I get it. Like the Rogue Ally, and the Ally X, the Xbox handheld consoles. It's like having a handheld PC on the go. So it's supposed to be like next level graphics, you know what I'm saying? All that stuff. And I still cannot bring myself to think of the money they want us to spend. It's like been leaked apparently. And I'm gonna pull up the little, article that I just looked it up. And I've heard different prices though. I'm gonna put that out there. I have heard different prices. But for like the level one, the Rogue Xbox Ally, coming in at $600, $599, which is like, okay, okay, reasonable-ish to me. But then if you want to like upgrade to the Ally X, then it gets into $900. So that's like $899, but that's $900, bro. So that's like hate that for me personally. But then the thing that makes it all the worse, Ariel, is that the Nintendo Switch, no, Nintendo has the audacity to raise prices of all their consoles. The 2, the Switch, the OLED, the
Time
Switch
out.
Lite.
Why are we raising the prices of the older consoles? Like, why are we
Say
doing
it.
that? Why are we
Say
doing
it.
that?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
what?
Yep. Taxes, government, politics, that's what they're saying. But I'm also like, I just want to like let me play the game. Why do we have to spend this much money? And I'm like, if I was like a parent or a child in these times, what do you mean? And if you have multiple
We'd have some
children,
hurt feelings, okay? Some
oh
hurt
my
feelings, some
goodness, y'all are
disappointment.
cheering.
Like,
We cannot. You want a console for damn near $1,000? So yeah, I think that's like a big glitch for me. It's just like
you're
everything's
like, I'm trying
mad
to be great.
expensive.
I'm trying to be great, and it's too expensive to do so. So, what's
Like
going
even if I
on?
had all the money in the world, I'm like, but it shouldn't be this way. That's how I feel. It shouldn't be this much
No.
money, in my like humble opinion. So that's definitely the glitch for me. The glow for me. So last time I had talked about going to the back to school festival at Fort Oak Cliff, and it was amazing as always. Like such a great time. The vibes were all great. I ended up working registration, which was an amazing time. Like just seeing people be happy and getting their
Yeah.
things that they needed, but then like chilling out afterwards and not, I actually ended up not being on fire. Like they have a lot of shade back there, so I was
Oh,
able to
that's
chill
good.
and
Yeah.
see performances and just all kinds of great stuff. So that really filled my bucket. But then we, like I said, we had a really long day in a beautiful way, but in a tiring way.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw Life of Pi in the theater, like acted out. And so
Mm.
I didn't know it was a book. I knew it was a movie, but I had never seen it. And then I didn't know it was a play until I went to see it. And I thought it was going to be a musical whole time. Not a musical. Really, really good. Like
Mm-hmm.
unexpectedly very good. If anybody's
Yeah.
already seen the movie and read it, of course you knew that. I didn't know it was going to be that good, especially as a play. So I highly recommend. Like
Mm-hmm.
really good time. And we were also thankful that we didn't see a musical because apparently we were all tired and we were like, we might have fallen asleep. Like no offense to the musicals, but we might have been out of there dressed up, snoring, this thing because we were trying our best after a long day. So it was nice to just go up there and like be so entertained and
Yeah.
so amazed by what we were looking at that we ended up like really riding it out and just being shocked and entertained and having a really
Yeah.
good time. So it was really nice. It was
Yo,
a good
that's
time.
dope. That's dope. And
Yeah,
I love a play. I mean, I love a musical, but I do love a play,
me
and it's
too.
been a minute since I've seen one, and
Hmm.
it's like kind of me now. I'm like kind of inspired to see what Chicago has going on because I know they got some stuff coming out.
Y'all always do.
Always, always.
Always do. Do you have a favorite musical?
So okay, you guys. My favorite musical is Phantom of the Opera because when I was like an itty bitty, I was like 6 years old, and I would listen to like the cassette tape version of it, like on my little like boombox, like situation. And like I would be like in my room alone, like having a blast, like listening to this musical on a cassette. And I think that's like what really started it for me. Like I love that musical. Also, the Lion King is like honorable mention because that's actually my favorite movie, but I also love the musical so so much. So that one is like very near and dear to me, but definitely the Phantom of the Opera for sure.
But who put you on? Like, that's still whose cassette was that?
I don't know.
Okay. You just,
I want to say I got it from like a teacher, maybe.
oh, random.
Because I don't know who else would have given that to me,
Hmm.
but I don't know. But I do remember like being like in my like very first house, like the room I shared with both my brother and sister. We had the bunk beds and everything, and I just remember just like sitting there like
Oh my
by
God.
myself, like
That's
listening
so
to this
cute.
cassette. And I was like, this is amazing.
Oh,
So
I
it's
love
very
that.
dramatic, and I'm very dramatic on the inside. So I think it like really like speaks to me.
You know what though? The only reason I watched it, because I've only seen the one, the one movie one with the people
Hmm.
in it.
Hmm.
Who are the people in that?
All I remember is that it's Emmy Rossum, and she's the one who's in Shameless. She plays Fiona in
That
Shameless. That's the
girl.
only person I remember in there.
Well, and this is Sparta is the man.
Oh, yes, it is him. Yes, it is. What's that man's name?
I can't
Gerard
remember anything
Butler.
today. Thank
Gerard
you.
Butler. That's him.
I was so close
Wow.
in my head.
I forgot that he was the Phantom.
Yeah, and I've only seen it once, and it was with you, like at your house.
Yo, I be making you do a lot of stuff.
You do. You keep me cultured.
Culture. Culture. Exactly.
But I agreed. I said it.
Okay.
Gotta,
Okay.
I love
Yeah.
it. I love
I
it. I love
actually,
it.
it's making me think. I think that's actually that musical's coming to Chicago soon. I'm pretty sure. So
Maybe that's why you said it to me.
I'm gonna have to get some tickets.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be a great time.
You can give us a report.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But that's all I got from my glitch and glow.
Okay. So bet. Okay, so let's move on to our next segment. Debug this. And so that's pretty much our like hot button topic. So what we're gonna talk about today is friendships, and more specifically black woman friendships. So
Oh, I love this.
something real easy breezy for us because like we're black women and we're friends. So this is gonna be a really easy situation, I think.
I love it. I love it.
Um, so okay. Um I think I'm gonna start off with a question for you, Edna, okay?
Mhm.
So do you find it difficult to make friends as an adult?
Yes. Oh my gosh. You're so funny because you know the answer to that. I'm
I
like,
do, but I was
yeah.
just, I'm
Everyone who doesn't
saying for
know,
the people, for the people.
100%. I do. Yes.
So one of the articles I was reading, I'm blanking on the name of it right now, but we will put it in our description. I think it's from verywellmind.com. But they were saying that close to 70% of Americans say that they um, have a hard time making friends as an adult, but where they tend to make it the most are in places like your job or like school friends or like people that you like do activities with. Um, so is as you know in your adult life, like where do you feel like you found the most friendships of substance?
In my adult life, geez Louise, I do feel
Mm-hmm.
like it was when I transitioned here to Texas to my
Mm-hmm.
first job. So, like, I was training as a teacher, became a teacher, and worked a lot with other teachers. And so when I think
Mm-hmm.
about my closest friends, most of my friends in my wedding, like
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
were like mostly people that I met teaching, whether it was like the same school or even the same district. Um, yeah, the teaching, that's what did it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I mean, I would say that would be similar even for me. I mean, granted, I didn't move anywhere, but I think most of my close friends as an adult I either made in grad school,
Mm.
yeah, or my places of work, like folks who've been in the trenches with me.
I was gonna
And
say that. It almost feels
yeah,
like, because I know you're talking about education. Sorry,
mm,
education. We love
sorry,
you.
we love you,
We had a
but it's
hard
it's rough
time.
on us. It's rough on
Yeah.
us though.
I was gonna say there's a little bit of trauma bonding that might also happen of like
Hmm.
everybody
Hmm.
understanding the difficulties of whatever is happening. Um,
Yeah.
so you're able to just bond over, especially those first few years of being in education. It's like, woo.
Hmm.
And then people always
Hmm.
talk about when you're at work, you're seeing those people damn near more often than you see people at home. And so you're
Yeah.
just building relationships. You're dealing with some really tough situations. And so you're becoming closer together and getting to know each other and having to go to happy hour after because you need a
And
little decompression. And I think
okay.
even as a social worker, as people who have worked in education and in other spaces, we worked in the hospital setting, we worked in other places. Um, there's something specifically about like working in a job that services others and hears really hard things where you don't
Hmm.
necessarily want to tell the people in your home that don't really understand either. So
Hmm.
sometimes it's
Hmm.
easier to like unload, vent, whatever that is to someone who just like gets it and that you're
Yeah.
not re-traumatized or not even re-traumatized, just first level traumatizing
Yes.
out the gate. Like, hey, how was your day? Well, if you really want to know, you know.
Right.
So
Right.
you need, I think, also specifically in our work too, people that you can talk to that have an understanding of how hard the
Hmm.
job can be.
Hmm. Hmm. Definitely. Because I know there will be times when I'll like try to vent to folks who like do not have like the same work experience or like have dealt with the same things, and like even that I don't know that I'm getting like the support I'm super super looking for. Like people can empathize, people can sympathize, like definitely, but I don't know, it just doesn't hit the same as somebody who's like really been doing that
No.
work with you,
It
you
really doesn't,
know?
because they're also like, because they are getting traumatized. Like, to be clear,
Yes,
they hear the story
yes,
and they're like, oh my, I could never. And you're like,
yeah.
okay,
You're like,
we
okay,
know
so that was my
it's tough.
Tuesday.
We know it's a hard time. That's not what and like no shade at all. Like we totally get it.
Right,
It's
right,
just that like when you're talking to someone else, they're like, dang, okay, yeah, that's crazy. Like
right.
maybe they're
That's
talking through how you
crazy.
dealt with it or whatever. They're like, dang, okay, well, what do you need? They're asking if you're taking care of yourself. There's like a different level of just like
Mm-hmm.
not taking it
Mm-hmm.
on too, I think, that you don't have
Yes.
to worry about when you're talking with
Yes.
someone maybe. And maybe, I don't know. I feel like we've been social workers or training to be social workers for such a long time now. It makes me
Mm-hmm.
want to ask other people. So, sorry, listeners, if you're not a social worker or a licensed mental health professional, this probably happens though in other jobs. Like, I watch The
Oh, I'm
Office.
sure.
To me, The Office is giving like when I kind of worked in the office. So, I'm like, Michael Scott put them through some stuff. So, like, it
He's
has
a
to
terrible
be.
boss. He was like really
No, it was like really bad. You grow to
he's
love
really
him, but
bad.
because you had to. You had to start laughing. I love that show. But I do think maybe for other people too,
Mm-hmm.
like you kind of go
Mm-hmm.
through some weird experiences together that you're able to find your person because you're doing like so this was kind of like testing the waters in the beginning,
Yes.
trying to figure it out, trying to figure out if they're your person or not. And you got to be
Mm-hmm.
careful. You got to be careful because not everybody is your person, okay? But
Okay. I know some folks who are like, I like my coworkers are my coworkers and that's that. And I'm like, you know what? Hey, have your boundaries. Like if you know like you're not gonna feel comfortable like opening up with them because, you don't want anything to like bleed into your professional setting, like that totally makes sense to me.
I'm gonna add to that.
Yeah.
So it's something that sticks in my mind ever since being in college. I had a black professor, and she was amazing. She was also my advisor. And in one of our, like, I forgot what the class was called, but in one of our classes, she was talking about how she's a black woman, and she's like, when we go to work, we go to work. You find your other friends. These are not your
Mm-hmm.
friends. And I was
Mm-hmm.
also thinking, like, I don't know who else she was working with. We know
Right.
that like the setting that you're in, like so many things, but I also it stayed with me because
Yeah.
I do think there's something to your point of like making new friends that I'm like, especially now that I work remotely and I'm trying to make other friends. I'm like, I don't just want work friends. Like I want
Right.
other friends too. So
Mm-hmm.
shout out to anybody who's
Mm-hmm.
trying to like be friends and a gamer.
Yes.
That's like
Yes.
the crowd that I'm looking for. Millennial women gamer ladies, where are we? For women identifying, like, please, I'm
Yeah.
here. I want to
Yeah.
find you. But it really always stuck with me. And there is
Mm-hmm.
something to be said about like having other friends too. I think
Mm-hmm.
that are outside of work that can
Mm-hmm.
see you in a different way that you don't have to talk about work or feel compelled
Yes.
to always talk about
Yes.
work with too. Because I will say that's another thing. I'm gonna stop
Mm-hmm.
soon. I will say that's another thing too, though. When you're with your work friends, sometimes you would end up only talking about work, and you're like, we
Yeah.
need to switch it up. Like, we can't only be talking
Yes.
about work too. So it's a hard balance to strike.
Yeah. Yeah. And I will say, like, I have been, especially with folks who I have met in workplace settings. A lot of my friends, like, I've worked like old jobs with, so I'm not in those settings anymore. So they've kind of transitioned from work friends to just like friends, which has been really nice. Um, and we do a much better job of like, yes, we'll like talk about work, but like not for real, like because there's other things going on. So it's a little easier once you've like moved on, if you do choose to move on to a different place.
Same. I
So
agree. Yep,
yeah,
yep, yep. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, let's get into some benefits of friendship. So I got this information from a different article on verywellmind.com, and they had listed that some of the benefits of friendship in general are just like a better physical health. Friendships are linked to lower risks of diabetes, heart attack, and stroke. Right? I was like, my friends are keeping me alive, yo. Like,
Like, I need more. No.
right? They also talk about and it's helpful with the longevity boost. So they said that strong social ties reduce loneliness, which is tied to longer life, and that social isolation significantly increases mortality risk, which I feel like makes sense.
Oh my
They
God, but it reminds me of the one article or the study that we were talking about where they had the elderly playing games and they like felt a sincere, they like saw a
Mm-hmm.
decrease in loneliness, right? I think. I'm like, yeah,
Yes.
that makes total sense. You gotta have
Mm-hmm.
some folks. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have your people.
They also talk about healthy habit support. So, like, friends can help encourage like good lifestyle choices. It could be keeping your fitness goals on track. It can help you like curb unhealthy behaviors. And I think it's kind of like an accountability thing, right? Like, if you're sharing with a friend, like, yo, I'm struggling with these things and these are my goals and I really want to work on them. Like, your friend's your cheerleader. They're gonna check in. How are you doing with that thing? Are you good? Do you
Hmm.
need help?
Hmm.
What's going
Hmm.
on? Like, so I do think that is super, super helpful. And I know, Eddie, you said like a couple times that I've held you accountable to like things that you're like, I want to do this thing, but I'm really, really tired. And I'm like, no, we're going to do it. And,
Hmm.
and that's that,
You're like, oh
it
no. And I never regret it.
never, it's like
Always
working out when
great.
you're like, I don't want to do this thing. And then you leave and you're like, that felt great.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm. For real. You know what
yeah.
you're saying though is also making me think of like choosing friends, and I feel like it's such a
Mm-hmm.
kid, teen, young adult thing that we talk about, but I think there's something to be said about like getting older and still being really cognizant of the friends that you have and the friends that you're
Mm-hmm.
making and where you're spending
Mm-hmm.
energy and what it looks like to give and reciprocate energy. I think that's something that like people my age, me myself, I've been like really thinking of.
Yeah.
As everybody gets older and as everybody has like 1,001 things to do, so completely understand, but like these relationships and friendships take so much effort now
Mm-hmm.
that we have to be really
Mm-hmm.
cognizant of that and thinking about even like who's a friend for different occasions and different things. And if you can't be a friend for everything, does that mean you need to write them off? No, not necessarily.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so yeah, it's hard to think about
Mm-hmm.
even maybe switching up friends sometimes. I feel like that's a conversation I've been having with people too, is like who maybe isn't the same friend that they used to be, and like people kind
Yeah.
of just changing roles in your
Yeah,
life
yeah. And being
because
okay
we
with
all
the fact
grow.
that they're changing, right?
Hmm.
Like, if you used to go to this person for this one thing and you're recognizing that they're not able to like support you in that same way, like, that's okay.
Hmm.
Like, and it
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily have to be the end of the friendship, right?
Hmm.
Like, it's
Hmm.
just an adjustment. And don't get me wrong, sometimes like it might be the end of it, and
I
that's
was like,
also
and
okay.
some, I was like,
Like,
literally, I was like, and sometimes
yeah,
it is.
and that might be the end, and that's also okay.
Yes.
And I also think it's okay to like end friendships on like a good note. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't
Mhm.
have to be some like egregious thing or anyone's feeling like wildly disrespected. It could just be like, yeah,
Mhm.
you know what? I think we're like just going in different directions, or like
Mhm.
we're in different phases and we're
Yeah.
just not aligning, and like that's okay. So,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and it's
Made me
a
think
I
of that with the habits. Like, you got to choose
mm-hmm.
people that are helping you with your habits too. Because if they're
Yeah.
not, maybe it's not, well, the good habits, not
Mm-hmm.
all the habits, the ones you're trying to.
The adaptive ones.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The positive ones.
They also note that another positive is stress buffering. So, supportive friendships can help lower cortisol levels. We know cortisol's big these days.
Hmm.
And so it helps like lower cortisol levels and reduce brain responses to social rejection, which I thought was really
Oh,
interesting.
yeah, sense of belonging.
Which kind of rolls right into community building, right? So having like encouraging friendships within a network strengthens community ties and also fosters belonging in daily life. So really combating that social isolation, really combating any feelings of stress or loneliness, like having that community is going to be so helpful. And that's something I
Hmm.
talk to people about on a daily basis, is like
Hmm.
having a positive community, and that could be friends, that could be family, that whoever, right? But like
Hmm.
making sure that you have that community to fall back on, I think is
Hmm.
super, super important.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a TMI moment, but I don't think it's that TMI. But I even think about like myself, or let me back up. So we'll talk about like, oh, you're feeling bad. Everybody knows like, go for a walk, get vitamin D. You'll always feel better. Like if you're having a depressive moment or just feeling
Mm-hmm.
really low. And I think the other thing to that then is even if you're feeling like not hanging out with people, making sure you're hanging out with people. So there are times where I'm feeling really low and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, you want to cancel that. Ooh, you do not want to go.
Yeah.
Ooh, you do not want to text them back. Like it is like we are trying to be on a rainy day in the house, but like it's not raining. I just have the blinds closed. Like we're trying to just make the mood so that we don't have to do things because it's not the vibe. But I'll still make myself go because I know that it mostly does make me feel better. I do want to be honest too and say like sometimes it doesn't make me feel like, oh, I've bounced back and now everything's better. But I do know that it adds up and it helps to just like reinstate I'm not alone.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like there are times where I feel comfortable talking about it, but maybe I went to an event and it wasn't the right time to talk about how I was feeling maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But it was still
Mm-hmm.
good to like be out and about, see other people, engage with other people as best as I could, and still listening to my body. Of course, this is not every time, just like noticing when I'll speak for myself, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
well, still making the effort at least a little bit because I know at the end of the day, it helps me. I didn't know it helped with all this like physical health risks
Mm-hmm.
in this
Mm-hmm.
way, but it makes sense that that's the reason we tell people to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Be with your people if you can. If you
Hmm.
can make it, be with your people. So, which again taps right back into community building. So okay, question. Okay, what like rituals or habits do you have with your friends that promote wellness or joy?
So we've been slacking for real. Something happened like this summer where it was like, yo, we need to get back on it. And I think once the weather gets a little more chill, we'll get back to our like cozy times. But on Fridays, I think I was telling you that I have a group of friends that we would watch movies on Fridays, and it started with the last Oscars. And we were watching, it was like a small group of us. It was like me, my
Mm-hmm.
husband, and like three other friends, sometimes a few more, sometimes a few less. But we were just like watch movies on Fridays, movies that were
Yeah.
nominated at first, then movies that had won like going back in time. And we'd like debrief. So we'd like catch up beforehand, watch the movie, debrief afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just really fun. It was so great. And I don't know, like as an adult, I understand now. I think everybody's having like now that the kids are grown up, we're like, oh, we understand Pizza Fridays because
Yes.
pizza the movie, like parents are tired. They're not cooking at the end of the week. My family did not do Pizza Fridays, but I like
We
get the
didn't either,
concept.
but I
Yeah,
like the idea. I like the idea.
I get the idea. Like I understand that the parents were like, bro, I'm tired. Like we finna put
Mm-hmm.
something on. I'm not gonna talk to y'all. We finna eat. Food is taken care of. We're gonna bond in this way. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that as an adult, like by the time Friday comes around, I be tired. And
Mm-hmm.
so even when we're tired, we're like, we're still gonna have movie night, and it's always been such a great time. Like it's such
Mm-hmm.
a fill bucket time. So this is reminding me to get back on it, but it was even nice to like go out and about and watch a movie. We've done that a few
Yeah.
times too,
Yeah.
because it's just really nice, and we all like movies, and we just like spending time together too. So that's one of my favorite, I guess, sort of traditions to do with friends.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I know that like I like to do game nights. Not necessarily host them because I don't like people in my house, but I will go to anybody's game night. Like that's my jam. You doing a game night? I'm gonna go. But I think those have been really, really fun, especially during like COVID shutdown times, like, and
Mhm.
when they were like, you must be in your pods and you can only be with certain people. And I would say, actually, you guys are really good at. I remember like during the shutdowns when you would have like virtual trivia and like doing all of those
Mhm.
things. I think that was
Mhm.
super, super helpful for, I would think for
Yeah,
myself, and I think for everybody,
for
just
me too. Yeah.
like being with others, even though we couldn't like physically be in each other's space. I think that was
Hmm.
really, really nice.
Yeah,
And what else do I do with my people? Happy hour is always a good time. If
for
I can make it
sure.
to a happy hour or a brunch, oh, I'm a lady that brunches. Okay, that is like my jam.
I
So
love
if
it.
I have the means and the time to do a brunch, like I'm gonna do that. That is, I like really, really
Hmm.
love that. And then also book clubs are also a great time for me because it
Oh,
blends one of my
yeah.
favorite things,
Yeah.
books and my favorite people. So
Hmm.
yeah, those are really, really nice. And I think also just having like, because most of my like very closest friends, like everyone's decided to move away from Chicago for whatever reason.
Sign of times.
Um, I, mm-hmm.
Sorry.
But I do think like the phone calls that I have, I think are so special and important to me because
Hmm.
I feel like after and they be long sometimes. Like my fiance will be like, "Who are you talking to for this long?" And I'm like,
We gotta catch up.
"It's this person. It's this person. We have so much to
Hmm.
talk about." But
Hmm.
like I always like end those conversations like feeling so good.
Hmm.
Like even if we don't talk about anything deep, it could literally just be like whatever. I always leave those
Hmm.
feeling really good and feeling like big boost in like serotonin and whatnot.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's super important, the catching up piece. Because sometimes it's like
Mm-hmm.
a life download. You're like, okay, it's been a minute. Here's everything that's happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like going back and forth. I do want to ask you, what are some like games that you recommend?
Ooh,
I feel
like
like we
board
talked a
games.
lot about, yeah, we've talked a lot about like video games and stuff like that, but do you recommend maybe video games still, but like any board games too?
Yo, I love um Taboo.
I
Act
knew you
a
were gonna say
Fool
that.
on that. I love that game with my heart
Hmm.
and soul. I love Taboo. I
Yeah.
love this game called Red Flags. Have you heard of this game?
Mm-mm-mm. Maybe from you.
Probably for me. It's like an
Hmm.
apples to apples kind of situation, but the goal is like you're trying to get like the judge to like consider going on a date with you. And so you get these cards, you have white flags, which are like positive characteristics, and
Hmm.
then you'll get like some red flags, which are like negative. So like your positive ones could be like you make $1 million a year, you have a good relationship with your family,
Hmm.
and you travel abroad once a month. It could be like
Hmm.
really fun things, right? And then your red flags though will be like bogus. They'll be like, you can only eat meals out of somebody's hand. Um like
That's hilarious, actually.
you never clip your toenails or like just like really just like off the wall stuff. And so
Okay.
then you kind of have to like make your case to the person to be like, yeah, that stuff is bad, but look at all these great things about
Oh,
me and let me spin the
wow.
bad things into a good thing. And like it's just really funny. It's super funny.
The art of persuasion.
Which I can be pretty persuasive when I want to be. So truly love that game. And then the another one that me and my fiance have been like really loving is called Hues and Cues.
I've
Have you
seen
heard
it.
of
I've never
that?
played
Oh
it
my
before.
gosh,
Mm-mm.
it's so fun. It's basically like there's just like a gradient of colors, and you pick a color, and then you have 2 rounds, and you have to for the first round you have to try to describe your color in like one
Hmm.
word, and you're not allowed to say the colors. Like you can't say red, blue,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So like say you have like a purple, you would be like Barney, and then like they would and then the other people would try to find like where it is, and then the second round you get 2 words to describe it,
Mm-hmm.
and that's how you play it, and it's so fun. Like if you're good at
Okay.
color theory, that's your jam. But it's just funny because you have to think about unconventional like descriptors for some of these colors, and it's
Mm-hmm.
like it really makes you use your brain. So it's super
Okay.
fun, super
I like
fun.
it. Those were good recs.
Yeah. I was
Those were
trying
good
to pick
recs.
what like Taboo classic, right? But like the other ones I'm
Hmm.
like I don't know if everyone's heard of those. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Nice.
But I hoodle. Okay. My last like one specific to just friendship. What role does humor and like side eye play in your friendships?
Humor and side eye. That's
Yeah. So
hilarious.
like a playful shade. Like do you feel like that can like strengthen a bond, or do you think that could be like harmful?
Okay, humor like is high for me. We have to be able to laugh like
Mhm.
at a lot of
Mhm.
things. I think especially because you said talk about like black women in friendships. I
Mhm.
feel like that like has to go. Like the world is crazy. I think the way a lot of us get through it is like definitely having serious conversations for
Mhm.
sure, right? Like
Mhm.
validating each other, under having an understanding, commiserating together, celebrating whatever it is, like all of that.
Mhm.
And definitely laughing because you've got to laugh at some of it, right? Like you've got
Yeah.
to laugh at the world sometimes.
The world's on fire.
And
What are we doing? Learning line dances. Like, you
yeah,
know what I mean? Like,
exactly. Um, uh, and just like having a good time together for sure. So like laughter is medicine. And what is it saying?
hmm
Something like that.
I
So I
think
think
that
laughter
is the
is
thing.
super important. Okay, great.
Yeah.
I thought it was deeper than that. I was not giving myself any credit. I was like, is that it? I don't know. Um, So I think that's super important. And the side eye, I'm a sensitive soul, I
I know
think.
you
And I
are,
think
friend.
we'll I'm thinking about you and me. I think we side eye each other, but it's not mean. Like
No,
I feel like
it's
we'll be
never
like,
mean. Yeah.
like okay, girl. But when we side eye other people,
Yo, full
it's funny.
conversation, saying
Yeah,
0 words.
I think
Like,
that's what's really helpful for me. There's like a deeper level of understanding that occurs when
mm-hmm,
you're able to just
mm-hmm,
be like, this is a situation, or this is suspicious, or this is hilarious, or
mm-hmm,
they should walk faster because we're in Chicago and why are they walking so slow? Whatever it is, like
mm-hmm,
I
mm-hmm,
think I think that's like a deeper level of bonding that happens in friendships and relationships that's just really nice.
mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm.
I think it plays a fun role in friendships.
Yeah,
It's a
I
great
think it can
role.
be super fun. But I think to your point though, I do think like you kind of have to have like a deeper type of relationship in order for that to go like intended, right? Like
Hmm.
you never want to hurt your friend's feelings by like
No.
teasing them or you know what I mean? Like that is never the
Hmm.
intention. So I do think there has to be like a level of understanding between folks for that to work. But
Hmm.
especially for like you against the others, that stuff
Hmm.
is a hilarious time to me.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep.
Especially if you have the same humor or if you notice the same kind of things, like it is very
Hmm.
easy to do those things.
Hmm. Hmm.
So and I
You
think
just feel locked in.
yes, yes. And I think specifically with black women too. Or I mean, maybe even just black people in general. Like how many times do you walk into, a predominantly white space and the first thing you're doing is looking for another black person or any
Every
other
time.
person of color and then you're
Every
like,
time.
whew, right? Like you didn't even say
Hmm.
anything, but it's like just like a
Hmm.
recognition on your face. You're like, okay,
Hmm.
we gonna be all right.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Hmm.
or
Hmm.
like somebody could say something then you're like it actually very much gives office to me where it's like someone could do something ridiculous and if you and your friend are in that same room you're looking at each other like they look at the camera,
Yep.
right? Like
Yep. I be wishing that there was one sometimes.
oh
Like,
my
woo,
gosh, me too.
woo.
What a time that would be if I had a film crew following around just to like catch my
Well, also because
reactions.
you're terrible at it. I think
I
like out of the both of
know,
us, you are
I
the one that's
know,
like not gonna hide it. I
not at
don't like
all, don't care. Like not at all.
I'm like, don't show my face. Don't do anything. Don't
Meanwhile, I'm
say
like, like what? Anywho, okay, let's get a little bit into the impact of Black women relationships with other Black women. So I found this article on Psychology Today, and they referenced a study where they like spoke with black women students ages 18 to 24 at a PWI, which is a predominantly white institution. And they found that um, these black women who had other black women friendships were able to process their experiences of discrimination and misogyny on campus. They were able to build social and professional networks with other black women who had other similar interests, and they were able to move towards more affirmative understandings of their identities. Um, so they kind of broke it down into different contexts. So they talk about safe spaces and how like gatherings and like physical spaces, like a cultural center, or like dedicated groups for black women can kind of create a sense of safety that's often missing in predominantly white environments. Which can be super helpful in just like processing or dealing with discrimination, racial trauma. And they also noted that it can help provide a safe space to take off the weight of like issues that a lot of black people are dealing with, such as like police brutality or like economic disparity, like those like really heavier issues that face the black community. And so having those spaces are really helpful in being able to provide an environment where you can process those things and feel comfortable enough to do so.
Hmm.
Um, they also talked about sisterhood as like social capital. So, having friendships with other black women can build like powerful networks for mentorship, academic health, career growth. So think like sororities or social organizations, academic organizations, and like even, and I'm thinking about how you were talking about your professor and how like having those conversations like that was like she was kind of peeping some like some game like that was like real mentorship, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And not to say that that's not feedback or advice that they would give someone who was not a black woman, but I do feel like the impact of that like really stuck with you, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
it might have held a different weight. um they also talked about the freedom to explore identity, so feeling seen and understood, and help encourage them to embrace new things. So, a big one that they had mentioned was like wearing your natural hair, or like just reflecting on like black womanhood and what it means to them, right? And like
Mhm.
that's not necessarily something that a black woman would feel comfortable talking to another person of a different race. Like it's
Mhm.
different when I talk about wash day. Like black women immediately understands what that mean, whereas
Mhm.
like women from other like races don't necessarily get like can get it surface level, but like
Mhm.
understanding like what hair means for black women, and
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
the care and the effort and the work that like goes into it, and like how it does
Mhm.
kind of help shape our identity. Like our hair is very very important.
Mhm.
Whether you got extensions, you got a sew in, you're wearing your coils, like whatever it is, like that is
Mhm.
actually a major piece of our identity.
Mhm.
um Before I go into the last two, do you have any thoughts, anything you want to share?
Yeah, this had me really thinking about an experience I had semi recently now, and being in like organizations that serve predominantly, not yeah, predominantly Black women. I was at a conference called the Black Women's Reproductive Justice Summit, and it
Mm.
was held by an organization here called the AFIA Center. And the theme was, "Do you trust Black women or not?" And I think, like, as a professional in
Ooh.
the space who's been to many a conference, I went to this conference and I know how they roll and I've like engaged with them before, but I was like, oh, I can come to this space and be me. And I think
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
like I'm saying, specifically in a this doesn't happen to everybody, right? But I think like when I'm showing up in a professional setting and many other places, I'm much more cognizant of like what I wear. My hair, not so much anymore, but like back in the day, how does my hair look? Like all
Mhm.
these things. And I've gotten much more comfortable now for sure. Like still being like, I'm aware and do what I want, but still like this time I was like, I can really wear and come and be however
Mhm.
I feel like that day. If I'm not in a suit or dressed quote unquote professionally or whatever that is, like I will still be accepted in this super, very awesomely safe space. And girl, when I got there, it was like, it fills your bucket so
Yeah.
much to be in a space like that of just like, oh, I am comfortable here. I am
Mhm.
welcomed here. The learning that I'm going to do here is going to be catered to me. And the people in this room have an understanding and, like, even a specific mission because we're all here to talk about women's reproductive justice, specifically Black women's reproductive justice, and
Mhm.
women with an X because they're really all like inclusive of anybody who identifies as a woman. So, like, there's a
Mhm.
certain mentality that you're
Mhm.
even going to have in going into that space. And so, I mean, people were wearing, looking however they wanted to, like in a way that you're like, oh, this is you, and it's a representation of who you are in a beautiful way. A lot of powerful voices, a lot of people talking about things, even like what you were saying, community, speaking up, our ancestors, right? Like to be at a
Mhm.
conference where we're
Mhm.
talking about ancestral work, where we're talking about herbs and how they can heal not just like our bodies but also our spirits. Like this is something I hadn't
Mhm.
engaged in with this like to this extent, especially in like a professional setting. And it was very liberating. I think that's the right word that I'll use. It was
Mhm.
extremely liberating to be in a space like that, and I've continued to engage with them and a few other organizations too because it's like it just draws you to them. You're like, yes, I want to like continue to do this. I want to continue to be around folks who are like doing great work. And yeah, it makes me happy even talking about it. I'm like
Yeah.
smiling right now. I'm like, it was so
Yeah.
great. It was such a great time that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, snap. This is how other people feel when they're like around, you
Mhm.
know? I don't know. I don't know how other people act at conferences, but this conference, I was like, I've never experienced a conference like this before. And
Yeah.
so it was really great.
I mean, that sounds like such an amazing conference, though.
Hmm. Hmm.
Like,
It was great. Like 100 out of 10. Like really, really. And I
leaving
have
like,
made
oh
some
my
friends out of that
gosh.
conference. Like
Yeah,
made some
yeah.
really great friends from that conference and had friends participate in a
Mm-hmm.
panel at that conference that I was like really like excited to help lead like a meditation and co-lead
Mm-hmm.
a panel. So it was just it was really nice. So I get
Yeah.
it,
I
like
love
being in a safe
that.
space, creating new friends. I think that's actually where some of my most recent friends were made too.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I love how you're talking about being able to just like show up like as your authentic self, right? And like
Hmm.
that is another benefit that they talked about for like black women and black women friendships is that like there's no need to code switch. You know what I mean? Like there are so many black people. I'm just gonna, I mean, I'm sure this happens for people of other races, other people of color, but I'm just gonna talk specifically for black women. Like, they're like the I don't even know what word I
Having to
want to
be careful.
use.
I think it's even if you're
Yeah.
not like switching up who you're being, there's an intentionality with which you're
Yes.
making moves out in the world in other spaces. Like
Yes.
even if you're not
Yes.
completely changing how you talk or how you dress or how you whatever that is, you're still thinking a little bit more about
Yes.
what you're saying and who
Yes.
you're saying it to and who you can trust and all that sorts of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah. It feels almost like masking, right? Like where it's
Mm,
like, I'm gonna show me, right? But like you said, there is some more intentionality about how you choose to show up or what you choose to wear, you know, how you choose to speak. Like, am I gonna be palatable for my audience, right? Versus if
mhm,
you're with another group of black women as a black woman, like I don't know the desire to code switch is there, or not even desire, but just the necessity of code switching is not really something that you have to worry about as much.
mhm,
So just being able to be your authentic self and
mhm,
not necessarily deal with the like fear of stereotypes or having to like adjust who you are to gain acceptance or respect.
mhm,
So
mhm,
I think that's another really, really big benefit of that. And then they also were talking about like dropping the armor. So they just said that like black women relationships offer a place to release the pressure of always appearing strong and resilient and
mhm,
allowing them to simply just be.
mhm.
Um, and I think that's actually super powerful because that is a major stereotype where like black women are just like the strongest people on earth and you can throw anything at them and they're just going to be stoic and they got it. And also, I'm going to be able to give you this feedback and I'm going to be able to support you. And who cares what's going on in my life because like we're not really here for me. Right. And so, like, I think that not having to do that is like it's so refreshing. It's such a relief.
Mhm.
I think it's just something that we always feel this like societal pressure to show up in these ways, and like when you don't have to
Mhm.
do that, it is just a really, really like lovely time. I
Because it's not that
feel
cute when you have to. And I think
no.
that's what I've been even trying to be more careful about in talking about women's strength and specifically Black women's strength. It's like
Mm-hmm.
that's a piece of it for me is like strength out of necessity or strength out of like, I don't know what else it is, but I think
Yeah,
that like first part is what I'm really thinking of is the
yeah,
necessity part. Because I know everybody has feelings about soft life or whatever, but at first I got it. I was like, people are trying to chill a little bit. Like, we don't want to
yes,
have to be fearless and not acting like we're scared or acting like we don't
mm-hmm,
have emotions or whatever that
mm-hmm,
is. Like,
mm-hmm,
I'm trying to, what's been one thing that I've been working on? And I think I'm better at it now. But for a while, I was like, I'm gonna stop saying sorry when I get teary-eyed or cry. Like that was even, and that's
mm-hmm,
like very like
mm-hmm.
low stakes, but it's just something I'd be like, I'm sorry, because I'd be crying like, sorry for girl, we are not sorry anymore. Like that is like such a thing. Like I'm gonna cry and
Yeah.
I'm sad or I'm happy or
Like
whatever that
it's
is,
okay to
you know?
express an emotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like the
Mm-hmm.
stoicism is something that we can work towards leaving in the past
Mm-hmm.
because we don't have to do that all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it should not be expected of us either.
Mm-mm. I think that women do and go through so much, specifically
Mhm.
Black women. And
Mhm.
then throwing like motherhood and other roles and the caretaker thing and just like all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, that's why friendships
Mm-hmm.
are so important because you have to be able to
Mm-hmm.
talk to someone when you're stressed or when you need someone to remind you to do, the self-care. Or I
Yeah.
saw some TikTok video where somebody was talking about how they were having postpartum depression
Mm-hmm.
and their friends
Mm-hmm.
were like, girl, I don't know, you ain't been answering, so we're gonna come and get you.
We
Like,
about to roll up. Yep.
yeah, we're
Yep.
here, like
Mm-hmm.
just folks to
Mm-hmm.
be able to help you when you're really down too. Um, because we all need help. I think that's another part of friendships that I was thinking about earlier is the
Mm-hmm.
needing help too and being able to lean on other people when you need help. Because that's something
Mm-hmm.
that I think I even need to work with
Mm-hmm.
sometimes is like,
Mm-hmm.
I can be more vulnerable. I can tell people I need some help with XYZ sometimes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do that with some people, but I don't do that maybe with everybody, which is fine too. I'm not saying I have
Yeah, I
to
was gonna
be
say you don't
every
gotta.
woman.
Not
No, no,
everybody needs to
no.
know.
No, no, no. But I do think there are some things I keep, really close to the chest when it's like,
Yeah.
oh, maybe it would be helpful to
Yeah.
share those
Yeah.
things more too.
Yeah. No, I definitely relate to that because I can be pretty stoic. So that is
Yes, you
definitely
can. Hmm.
something that we're working towards. And it's funny, I was
Hmm.
talking to somebody about like friendships, not even necessarily like black women friendships, but she was telling me that like she has like almost like a board of directors kind of like, and they're all like these people who she has really close friendships with. And so she's going through a really, really tough time. She'll be like, I need to talk to my board of directors to calm me down, help me work through some stuff,
Hmm.
encourage me, like
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. Like I know these people are going to be able to show up for me in the way that I need it. And I was like, I
Hmm.
really like the idea because I think I also have that. I didn't
Hmm.
call it that, but I was like, I kind of like the
Hmm.
idea of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
Because yeah, there are some people that I'm like, okay, I know. I can talk to this person. I can actually be very vulnerable with this person and I don't like
Hmm.
feel any like anxiety or shame or fear about doing that
Yeah.
with that person.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Friendships, they're important.
Friendships.
Hmm.
They're super important. Um, okay, my last question for you is what advice would you give to someone who's like looking to like deepen or create meaningful friendships with black women? And I would say specifically for a black woman.
Deepen or make?
What do you think?
I have like thoughts about both of them. I think like deepening, I think it depends on maybe what your goals are for friendships. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'll say. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because I think deepening can mean different things for different people. And so,
True.
like, thinking about where you are and clocking what do you really look for in a friendship, because
Yeah.
that'll help you discern what does deepening mean to you. Like, is it having conversations about your past? Is it having conversations
Yeah.
about the state of the world? Do you want to have more conversations about politics? Do you want to have more debates with a friend? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
deepening is still subjective. And so, I think really thinking about what that means to you
Yeah.
and then seeing if you can find that and or like broach that and test it out with a friend, but also not being like,
Yes.
well, now I'm not your friend anymore if somebody can't like go down there with you.
Right.
Like, you're like,
Right.
okay, maybe not you. Maybe I'm gonna try another friend.
Yeah.
Um, the making new friends is hard for me
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
I think what I have been thinking about more and doing more is like following more Black content creators who
Mm-hmm.
are gamers. So whether that is through Twitch, whether that is through YouTube, um, or IG, I've been like really cognizant and really trying, and TikTok, of course, um, really trying to,
I was like, how are we missing TikTok?
I know,
Like,
I'm dripping. Still got those self-management reminders. But
hmm
I've been really like that's kind of like my first step is like let me find the community as best that I can and like
yeah,
start following. And I know everybody's gonna like try and look for friends in their own ways. Like there's meetups where you can try and if you're feeling
yeah.
like going and doing
That's
things,
something
more
I
of
was
those
gonna
things are
mention.
happening. Yeah.
hmm
And like there's
hmm
stuff happening on Eventbrite or you can like go and put yourself out there too. But for me, I'm looking for a very specific community right now, and that
Yeah.
is definitely like Black women who game. Um, and so that's like my first step. I don't know if that's the right first step, but that's something that I'm doing is
hmm
like, let me make connections and let me see how it goes and let me put myself out there eventually, but I'm just trying to find them now because low key they're
Yeah.
kind of sparse. I've been finding them and I've been
Yeah.
like watching their content and doing the things, but it's kind of hard to find them. They're not
Yeah.
as, they don't come up in the search as easily, if you know what I mean. We know that's an issue. So, still trying to find them, still trying to see how they make friends.
Mhm. Mhm.
I have some thoughts and some plans that maybe I'll share one day about like how to do that even a little more. But I mean, even think that's why we are doing the podcast. It's like trying to find the people who
Mhm.
are, you
Mhm.
know, into the similar things that we've been talking about here. So,
Yeah.
did I say anything? I think I
Yes.
did. Did I
Yes, you
answer?
said you answered
Okay.
you answered both the questions. You did a great job.
Okay. Wow. Thanks.
I was like the only thing I was gonna add, like for me, it's like putting myself in environments where there are other black women. So like like you were talking about like meetups or events, like there are so many, and I'll talk about Chicago specifically. Like there's like a black
Mhm.
woman like walking group that like they'll like
Cute.
post on social media, this is where we're gonna be, this is the date, like here we are.
Mhm.
And so like
Mhm.
people literally just like hundreds of women will just like show up and just like walk.
Well,
They'll go walk on the 606, they'll go walk down in Hyde Park, they'll go walk on the lakefront, like
cute.
whatever. So like putting myself in those kind of situations where I can like meet people, and also just like being open to talking to others because
Oh, I was
woo,
gonna say that. I
I
didn't even say that
tell
out loud. I
you,
was gonna
I
say
have
into
a
it. I was
hard
like, I'll put it on my
time.
calendar, and then it'll show up, and I'll be like, that was a good thought for my own self. You
Exactly.
like this idea? We don't want to do this today.
Yes. I'll be like, this is so great. I'm definitely going to do this. And then be like, no, we're not
Mhm.
ready yet. And so I think like one of the things I'm working on is just pushing myself to like go to the things and like talking to people. Because I will say one thing about me is like, do I want to initiate a conversation? Not particularly, but
Mhm.
I can and I will. And I'm
Mhm.
actually a really good chatter. I love to laugh
Mhm.
and chat. And
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
that is like, if that is a goal, then like I can do that. I just have to like really push myself to do that. So,
Did we just make ourselves a little goal?
yikes. I think we did.
Wow.
Whoa, 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 whoa,
On the
whoa.
podcast is crazy.
Oh no.
Out loud, publicly.
Oh no.
One meetup that I've consistently wanted to go to, I really want to play something that's like a Dungeons and Dragons, like go
Mm,
and get really immersed. Like I want to see if I like it or not. And I don't
yeah.
know the people that are playing it. So there's a meetup that I've been like eyeing.
Oh, dude, you
And
should
I
just do
never go.
it.
I'm
You
always
got
like,
it.
it's too far today or whatever. I can't make it. Oh no. All the excuses. But I really want to go, and it seems like it would be a
Mhm.
really good time. So I should
Mhm.
definitely do that. I don't know when the next one is, so don't hold me accountable yet. But hopefully, I report back
Yeah. Yeah.
and say that I did it. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, that was our topic for today. Friends
Nice.
with
Yeah,
black
friends.
girls.
I love it. Okay, well, we can shift into glow mode, and this is our space for wins, wisdom, and words that lift us up. What's a word, phrase, or affirmation that sets your intention for the week, Ariel?
um, my intention for the week, and really this is focusing on the weekend, it is to go with the flow. I will
Hmm.
be at a bachelorette party for one of my like very, very, very good friends. And, we've got a lot of like fun stuff planned. We're gonna
Hmm.
have a great time, but
Hmm.
like I just want to be as present as possible and just like go with the flow and like not get stressed out by things not going the way that I thought they would or whatever. So like just really being easy breezy and flexible and making the weekend really fun for her. So, yeah.
This is hilarious to me that you were
Yeah.
like, I didn't really consider myself type A.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know what happened.
I'm listening to you, I'm like, you sound like me.
You know
I
what it
did present
is?
2 times in a row.
It's so funny because I was thinking about this the other day. Oh yeah, because I was like complaining about something, and I was like, you know what? I think the correlation between me like understanding how type I am actually like follows like my trajectory of becoming more self assured. Like
Hmm.
I like as I became like more confident and more self assured, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this thing. No, I'm not gonna do that. This is actually how it's gonna go. I've planned it.
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
and I
Hmm.
think just like having like a stronger voice and being more of an advocate for myself has really
Hmm.
like I've just really like leaned into it, and I've learned that like
I
that
love
is
it.
actually what has happened to me. And you saw the start of it. It's funny because I still think about I had one job, y'all, that was
It changed her.
it. That's
It
what she be
changed her.
saying.
I
she
was like,
she be like,
you?
"You different now. Like, are you good?"
Okay, you have to tell people. I'm gonna tell people.
You just tell the
So she worked
people.
at a hospital. She
Mm-hmm.
was working like in the psych ward, question mark, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Like
behavioral
really high
health.
needs, behavior health, yep.
Mm-hmm.
And my girl was getting hit. My girl was getting thrown, like
Body
chucked across
slammed,
rooms.
like
Yeah, like
all stalked, all sorts of
also, yeah.
shenanigans were
I mean, like,
happening.
also, who wouldn't this change? But she stuck it out because she needed them coins and she needed the experience and
I
she was
did.
also making sure she did what she needed to do to get through school. And with that being said, she was just like, I'm putting my foot down and I'm not playing with none of y'all. I can imagine using your mama voice. I can
Yes.
imagine you like drawing the line in the sand, being like,
Yes.
I don't care how little I am. I'm not, you picked the wrong one today.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that whatever was established there just bled into IRL. And you were like,
Yes.
I don't play with nobody anymore. You don't know what I've been through. You don't
Okay.
know what
You
I've
don't
been
know. And I
through.
really do not play like no. Like
That's true. That's true.
so yeah. Anywho, we say that to say that I'm gonna try to dial it back some
Yeah,
and,
love that.
just like and you friends. First of all, I actually am mostly chill for the most part. There's just
For
certain
sure.
situations where it's got to come out, to make sure things go smoothly. But
For
like I
sure.
said, I'm really gonna focus on just like being present and just like being a vibe. So
Having a good
yeah,
time.
it's mine.
I love that.
What's yours?
I don't know what I was gonna say before, but now I feel like I've put myself out. What's the saying? To dry? I cannot come up with a saying, and I think that that's actually what people say, but whatever. I feel like now I need to like go to a thing or like
Mm.
actually reach out to. I feel like I have to take the next step. We talked so long about the friend thing that I'm like, oh
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Now maybe I need to
Is it time?
try.
Is it time? Maybe enlist a friend to go with you. Enlist a friend to go with you.
No, I don't
You
think
want to go
so. And
solo dolo?
the reason I say this is because I think I crutch it sometimes. I'm like, this is easier just to talk to
Ah,
this person. And now I'm not actually going to talk to people as much as I should, unless that other person is
that's
also going
fair.
to talk to other people.
Yeah.
So I think like I'll either have to just go and be like, oh no, but you can do it. You
You
do
could
hard
do it.
things.
You could
Like
do it,
this person
Bruce.
got you. Yeah. Yeah.
You could do it, Bruce.
Better eat that chocolate cake. Um, That was a Matilda reference. But yeah, I don't know what's the word? Try? Something like that. Try to make a friend. Not that that'll be done like in the next week or anything, but something along those lines, you know?
I love that. I'm gonna think on that too. I know I mentioned that walking club, and now I'm like, well, we'll see. I actually don't know how many they have left because it's still really nice out now, but when it gets cold, that stops. So I think
You
maybe
know,
I'll
that's
also.
hilarious. Because over here, I was like, oh, yeah, they have them here. But every time I see them, it's in the summer. And I'm like, when are y'all doing this? Like, we're meeting at 6 a.m. And I'm like, what the?
Mm,
I was trying to do that for a while. And I was like, yo, I'm like struggling.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
So I'm like, ooh, this fall,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna look more into that. Also, there's other groups like that are out and about that aren't necessarily doing outside activities. So
Hmm.
I'm gonna do some research on that because I think that would actually be a good goal for the next few months or so. So boom, I guess we have something to hold ourselves accountable to.
Yay!
Yay.
Yay! We can do it.
Alrighty, y'all. So as we power down, remember you can tune in on YouTube and Spotify. You can also follow us on IG or email us at glitchandglowpod@gmail.com. We will see y'all in 2 weeks on Tuesday. And remember, every glitch has a glow up.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.